Hi friends, ornaments are one of the primary ways we personalize and add life to the tunes we play. We recently took a deeper dive into the slide ornament, and in our time together right now, I want us to take a little bit of a deeper dive into the tonguing ornament. I know not everybody is in love with this particular ornament, but it is an ornament, and a lot of very amazing traditional players use it. So let's dive into it a little bit more. The tonguing ornament is, like all other ornaments, another tool we use to create separation between notes, to transition from one phrase of a tune to another, and to highlight a note or two in a phrase. And like all other ornaments, it is best when used with some wisdom, not constantly. So we add flair to tunes with ornaments, and you can use the tonguing ornament to add flair. The tonguing ornament adds a harder beginning to a note. Like I said, either to add separation or to do something else. It highlights that note that you're tonguing to varying degrees. We've already considered in a previous video the basic way to use the tonguing ornament, and I'll link that video up here. But I do want to do just a quick review of how to do the basic tonguing ornament, because it fits in with the other methods of using this ornament that I want to talk about. So you create a tonguing ornament by adding a sharp beginning to a note. Basically, you're pushing an airstream and using your tongue somewhere in your mouth to accentuate that tune. And that's why it's called tonguing, because the tongue is the primary driver for creating the feel of this ornament. So, quick review. We're going to be silly for a minute. Make the T and the D sound, because they're very, very similar. Or ta-da-ta-ta-ta-ta, that's too hard to do. Ta-da-ta-da-da-da. And pay attention while you do that to where your tongue is landing. It's probably not hitting square on your teeth. It's probably hitting like right at the very top of your teeth or somewhere around in there. And so what you do is at the same time you push a stream of air forward, you're hitting like the top back of your teeth with your tongue. And then that's the tonguing ornament. But notice it's a little harder. Now that's more because I'm pushing harder on an individual note. If I play it on a run, like of a scale, it's still that really sharp beginning to the note, as opposed to so that's a big difference. So you're going to bounce your tongue at the same time you push the note. And if you've never done it before, it might feel funny, but it'll make sense. So, and if you push really hard, it creates more of an aggressive tone. And it's kind of hard to not let the note break. And that's because, as you remember, playing the lower octave and playing the upper octave are a matter of breath pressure. And so to tongue, if you're pushing really hard, you can expect to break from the lower to the upper octave on your instrument. So you've got to be pretty careful about that and learn how much air is required to give that distinct tonguing without breaking into the upper octave. So to play this first style of tonguing, you almost have to say "t" as you're doing it, because that has a breath of air that comes with it, and so that makes that a little easier. Now you can, and I want to just give you two other ways to use your tongue to create this ornament that are more subtle. You're still going to have to do that "t" sound because that has a breath coming with it. Well, not the "t" sound, but the "t" action. And to push the breath sharply, but you need to soften the entry of the tone. So instead of "ta ta" or "da da," think of "la la 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 la" or "na na na na," and "l la la la," "lamb," "name." Think of that. See how that's such a softer entry. So take the "l" or "n," where your tongue is almost resting against, it's further back from your teeth. And it's not the tip of your tongue that's making the sound. It's a little bit more the flat of your tongue. So you do that, and then you kind of do that "t" motion to create the breath of air. And it's not as sharp. It's a little softer. For example, it's still very distinct, but it's a more gentle. So when you think about that, there are times when you really want to hit on a note from a transition or a double, and you just want to punch it. Use that first style of tonguing. Or if you just want to tongue a note in a phrase, then use that next one where you're actually using some of the flat of your tongue in the middle of the roof of your mouth and going "ta ta," as it were, off of the middle. So it's a lot softer, and your tongue's going to go about where it would if you're saying the letters "l," "l," and "n." So that helps that a lot. I've got another one to add for us, and that is more of a stop that's closer at the back of your mouth. Think about when you're making the sound for "g," gate, or "k," as in, well, cat comes to mind, but that's not a K, but it's the sound. So the back of your tongue rises to the roof of your mouth. K. You're almost drawing your tongue back. So if you do that and you push the air, it's again slightly different. It's a little more distinct than what you're going to get off of the "la" and the "na." I told you we were going to be silly. But it's not as sharp as the "ta." So you've got these variations that you can throw even of the tonguing ornament as you're playing. You're playing a tune. Do I want to add a distinction between these repeat notes, or do I want to add something to really mark the beginning of this next phrase of the tune? Do I want it sharp? Do I want it really soft? Do I want it more like a... So the first one, almost sounds like a horn or a whistle. Ha! Or you could go to the middle one. It's almost a puffy motion. Or the last one. So where you're using like your tongue to stop the air, and then you're releasing your tongue as you're releasing that pulse of air, and it creates a sharp entry to the tune without that hard ta of the tongue clicking somewhere in your mouth. I hope this helps. I hope you caught those differences. Now again, I'm giving you flavors of the tonguing ornament, and I know that those may be very fine point details and differences between them. However, when you're in the middle of playing a tune and you want to express something to make a note stand out, and you want to do it gently, and you want to use the tonguing, and the ta won't do, then use the tongue at the middle of the roof of the mouth. If you don't want any ta associated with it, hard or soft, then use the k kind of sound. And like you would there, you're not actually making the k sound, you're just letting your tongue do that. As always, practice and experiment with these variations on the tonguing ornament so that when you want to use it, it's not frustrating. You just experiment with it and see what you like and don't like. But you're going to have to experiment by playing. 3 different ways to use the tonguing ornament. And there are others, but I've messed with our heads enough right now. So I hope this helps you expand your horizons on using the tonguing ornament. And there's so much more to say about all the ornaments, because each ornament contains a wealth of variety for us. And so far we've explored a little bit more the depths of the slide ornament and the tonguing ornament. I hope this is helpful for you, my friends. Until next time, this is Scott Shade. Happy low D whistling.